Hello, everyone. Yeah, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're listening to my voice. I know there are many of us joining from across the world, Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and some are joining from Dubai, and some are joining from, as far to, from Asia. And I am very happy to welcome everyone here. This is going to be a really impactful session. Okay, so, and we are going to get right into the session, but please confirm if you can hear me clearly just before I keep on talking. Please confirm if you can hear me clearly. All right, please kindly confirm. You can drop your comments, just comment in the, drop your comments in the comment section. I'm trying not to do tautology, but I eventually did it. Okay. All right. So please kindly confirm if you can hear me. All right. Quickly, please, can you hear me? Am I loud and clear? Am I loud and clear? All right. Great. So we're getting started right. Let us know that this is going to be a 1 hour session. So whatever happens at in the next 55 minutes now, we are done. All right. The next 55 minutes, that's exactly 9 p.m. Nigerian time. Wherever we are, we stop and then, we are done. Okay. So now, before I get started, I would like to introduce a few facts to us. The purpose of this session is to help address the issues of AI similarity, content similarity that many of us have been experiencing for the past few weeks. Since last month, it has been a big issue that is almost frustrating. It is frustrating, not almost, for many learners. Okay, and that is why we had to come up with this AMA session. So what is going to happen in this session is that you'll be asking questions, and I have invited amazing people, alumni, to help us with answers to these questions. Okay, so these are people who have been there, done that. Okay, and the first person with me here is Mrs. Wura. Um, Mrs. Wura Adenaye. Oh my God. I learned to pronounce this thing very well yesterday, but then here I am. This is not the proper pronunciation, but then, okay, so her name is Wuraola Ajoke Adenaye, okay? BEd Guidance and Counseling, MEd Guidance and Counseling, MBA, Nexford University Sustainability. She's a dynamic, multifaceted administrative professional, a passionate sales leader with wealth of experience in paid and voluntary work. She offers an array of expertise and strategic foresight with the discipline and tenacity to make every project work. With over 12 years experience in various industries, in banking, insurance, education, consulting, hospitality, and in the non-government sector. Through, through her experience in multiple customer specialist roles, she has fine-tuned her skills in interpersonal skills, cultivated a customer-centric approach to develop thriving organizations. So Ruola is highly regarded among her peers as an exceptional analytical thinker with a talent for problem solving, with proven track record of consistently surpassing expectations by successfully translating stakeholder requirements into tangible and impactful deliverables. Okay, and she's a mother of wonderful battalion. And she is a business professional, and she's here with Mr. Pope. Mr. Pope Victor. All right. So Mr. Pope Victor is also a professional in. He's also an alumni, rather, also an alumnus, rather, and his name is Victor Pope Ogbonaya, an HR and business strategy professional, a graduate of petroleum engineering from the University of Benin, master's degree in international human resources from Rome Business School, graduated with distinction, with MBA in artificial intelligence with MBA with additional specialization in artificial intelligence, graduated with 4.0 Nexford University. He's an associate member and a chartered associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. His name is Victor Pope Ogbonaya. Sir Pope, so you're welcome, and I'm very happy to have you with us here. Please
Yeah,
kindly
thank you
show
so much.
your
Thank you
voice.
for the
Show your
opportunity.
voice,
Thank
please.
you so much. Yes,
Yeah. This is Rura. Please show your voice
I
too.
appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Yemi. Thank you for having me. Good
All
evening.
right. Amazing. Amazing. Good evening once again. Okay, so I have just 4 to 6 minutes to quickly share a little bit of information and facts with us. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm starting here, or we're starting here, is because I just want to um, I just want to lay or build a foundational knowledge, okay, for this session. All right. I know that we have questions. By the way, please start asking your questions now. The questions you have, because this is Ask Me Anything session, okay? You are here to ask questions. We are here to answer those questions. You are here to ask questions, and we are here to answer those questions, okay? So please start asking those questions. Ask anything that has to do with plagiarism, content similarity, AI similarity, whatever similarity, okay? Turnitin score. Maybe you've had issues with your lecturers, your professors, and then you need to understand how to go about it. How do you avoid AI similarity scores that will get you an F? Okay, ask all the questions that you have, and please drop them in the comment section, and we'll pick them one after the other. Myself, Mr. Pope, Mrs. Wura, we will attend to them. Okay, but before we get into that, please share this link on the groups, okay, so that more people can join. All right, many people need this. So the first thing I want to do is to explain to us why this has become a problem, or why this has become a frustration for many of us. Before now, we've experienced Turnitin. We know about Turnitin. We know that Turnitin is a plagiarism detector tool, okay, that is only accessible to the lecturers, to the university, and we cannot access the tool, okay, and which is one thing, something which is another problem on one side, right? But we'll get to that later on in the future, okay. But recently, Turnitin has updated its software, okay, and that is what I simply want to share with us. Turnitin has updated the software. Now, this screenshot you're seeing on my screen, I took it from one of the documentations on one of the education forum on Turnitin, okay? And this is simply to give you an hint of a foundational problem, or what seems to be a foundational problem that many institutions across the world are facing with AI. Okay, so since the advent of generative artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, Claude AI, Storytel AI, and Co., and in which many students have been using to do assignments, to write assignments. Okay, educators all around the world have been, battling with this headache of what can we do to make it to maintain the standard of academic integrity and academic honesty. And let me tell you something, Turnitin has been in the industry for 25 years. Okay, so Turnitin is a trusted giant, trusted academic integrity giant in the sector. Okay, so you would understand why whatever Turnitin says, that is what it is. Okay, so any school that uses Turnitin to assess or to check or to examine, all right, or to scan students' assignments for plagiarism checks and then for AI check, you would expect that that school would trust Turnitin as a tool. Okay, now recently, and that is in okay, yeah. So recently, that's in July last month, Turnitin was updated. Okay, so this is a blog showing it. 20 was updated, AI paraphrasing detection, strengthening the integrity of academic writing. Now, let me tell you something. Turnitin has always had AI similarity check since last year. Okay, so it is not new, but it is not as sensitive, all right, until last month. And that's why you would experience, you know that this problem actually started last month. This issue, like it became an issue last month. Okay, some of us in February experienced it with Professor Dunbar, all right, you know, but it was not as serious as this. Okay, now what happened was that before, Turnitin only checks for AI generated content. So that means if you write with ChatGPT or you write with Gemini or you write with any other AI tool, okay, that it is AI generated. But since last month, Turnitin not only checks AI generated content, but Turnitin now checks AI paraphrased content. That means quibbles, all right? Yeah, so let me show you a text. Yeah. I'm trying to rush. So Turnitin's AI capability, AI writing dictation capabilities are fully integrated into the similarity report, providing our users with a seamless experience when AI writing dictation is enabled, which also includes AI paraphrasing detection rather. It automatically checks every submission for both AI writing and AI paraphrasing. It shows an overall percentage of the document that was likely AI generated and an additional score for likely AI generated content that may also have been AI paraphrased. This is crazy. Your AI detection needs sit under one safe, secure, and easily accessible umbrella. Okay, so that is just a brief into what is happening here, and that is why we have been experiencing this. Okay, that is why we have been experiencing this. There's something else I want to show us here. Okay, so this is it. AI writing detection. Turnitin's AI writing detection capabilities. It says identify when AI writing tools such as ChatGPT or AI paraphrasing tools, that is text spinners, may have been used in submitted work. Okay, so AI writing and paraphrasing detection is available to Turnitin feedback, blah blah blah, you know, and that's it. And basically, what I am trying to tell us here is that things have changed. Okay, and just like I recently told somebody via DM that whatever you were doing that was working, and then you did it and then you were graded F, it simply means that it's not working again. So change your strategy. Okay, so the purpose of this session now is for us to entertain your questions. All right, and I have amazing, excellent, brilliant, intelligent people with me here. Then we attend to those questions. Okay, yeah, so my time is up. All right, so it is time for me to start entertaining those questions one after the other. All right, so please drop your questions in the comment section. All right, so I think so we have the first question. Okay, we have two questions now. All right, so I'll be showing those questions on the screen so that you will know the question we are attending to per time. All right, so okay, so the first question here, beautiful. The first question here is from Jumoke. She says, or she's asking, please, do I need to reference stock images source? All right. So this is a technical question. So let me answer it. Okay. Do I need to reference stock images? Okay, Mr. Pope is here. Do I need to reference stock images source? So when you mean stock images, let's say images that you downloaded from it could be you downloaded it from Google, maybe Google Images, or you downloaded it from any of the stock images sites. So you do not necessarily images, okay? You do not necessarily need to cite and reference stock images, all right? But you need to cite and reference images that are important, that are part of the maybe it was done by a researcher, or it was done by a journalist, or it was done by somebody somewhere. And then you saw that chart, maybe, and then you now
Okay, please, can you hear me? Just to confirm if you can hear me, just type in the comment section just to be sure if you can hear me, please. Okay, so just to continue what Yemi was trying to say, so if you have the image embedded in someone's work, and maybe it's a graph, whatever it is that you want to really export from that literature, so it is very important for you to reference that, because now that will be unfair on whosoever has that work for you to just spool whatever image you want to take from the text and not reference that. So it is very important for you to reference whatever you're getting the image from, provided you can have the information on whosoever is the original author of that document. So yes, I think that's just to add to what Yemi was saying initially. So the next question I can see here is from Daisy. Daisy is asking, please, how do I go about it when your prof says your Turnitin is high and score you an F? Okay, I think this is actually the crux of the matter. This is why we're having this session today. So if I have to quickly respond to that, okay, Yemi is back. Yemi, do you want to quickly say something before I respond to this question, please?
please go ahead, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. So, Daisy, so this is my take on this. First of all, it is very clear for you to actually agree with yourself if you actually use AI to in developing your paper. So there's no point you lying to yourself. So if the Turnitin scores you high because you actually have high AI generated text. So next thing for you to do now is to appeal first, but be sure that you're willing to actually do the actual work. So now, what is the actual work? So the actual work is you need to go back to your paper, ensure you do your own research first. What I see that most people do is once there's a question, they will just copy the question, then add some prompts, ask ChatGPT, and whatever it is that ChatGPT generates for them, they copy and paste, just add a little bit of their own, and they're expecting to have a good grade. So going back to what Yemi was discussing earlier, it will be very easy now for Turnitin to actually detect it if it is AI generated text. So what I would advise is, first of all, do your own research. Try to rely on the primary source. Make your research as current as possible. I remember when I was doing my I think boss 6140, if I remember correctly, that's the capstone. I was writing on Tesla, so I ensured that most of my research were very current as early as January up until date. So make sure you rely heavily on your own primary research. And in doing so, develop your own outline and the structure, and ensure the content you're going to write is a product of your original research. And you also add your thoughts. Most people just also you just summarize what you've researched on without actually adding your own touch to it. So ensure you embed your own analysis. Critique that thing that you have actually researched on. Is it true? Do you agree with it? So add your own perspective rather than just paraphrasing the existing information. So try as much as possible to make it yours. You can use AI tools to improve on it. What you should use AI to, what I would advise you to use AI to do is to generate idea for you. So once it generates idea for you, ensure you understand what has been generated, then rewrite it in your own words, do your own analysis. You will only be scored F for an AI generated text and not for an AI generated idea. So you need to understand the idea, then rewrite it in your own words, add your own analysis, make it original, and try to write it as many times as possible. People also get paraphrasing wrong. They think paraphrasing is for you to just use another synonym to replace what ChatGPT has given you. You will still score an F. So what I'm trying to say is make sure you understand it first, understand the idea, then rewrite the idea in your own words, make it yours, critique it, add your own perspective. It's an MBA, so it's not really like a multiple choice question and answer, except maybe you're doing accounting. It's about your own perspective, your own understanding. Try as much as possible to do your research, make your writing originally based on the research, critique it, add your own analysis. And if you're using AI to improve it, don't just say, improve this for me, and carry it like that and paste in your paper. No. Still check, make sure that it actually reflects your own tone, how you will write. And remember, for in trying to also use AI to be able to better your writing, make your grammar very sound, have it at the back of your mind that it is originality that the lecturers are looking out for. And what does it mean to be original? Original also means there are elements of error in it, because you won't be perfect in your writing. So there will always be allowance for error. That's why it is original. So I think I'll stop here.
Okay, thank you, Sir Paul. All right. Please confirm if my sound is good. Um, yeah, is it good? Is it clear? Can you help me please confirm?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. All right. So, okay. So we have a question here that says, "What about Grammarly suggestions?" All right. So I think I should. Would you like to ask? Would you like to answer that question, Sir Paul, about Grammarly suggestions? I think it is a. Let me answer it because the answer is quick. It's Grammarly suggestions are okay. I used Grammarly suggestions throughout my entire program. I don't have any issues with it. Okay. It's just that I am the human. Okay. Grammarly is a computer. It's a machine. It's an AI. Okay. I know more than Grammarly. All right. So there are some things that Grammarly will give you you don't accept because it is too robotic. All right. There is nuances in expression, in speech, right, in communication. So there are some times that Grammarly just want to make things perfect, just like Pope said. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? And when this AI issue started, that was in February. That was when the issue of AI, problem started. What I tell people then is just make your work imperfect. All right, make it imperfect. It writes like a human being. But I understand that there are some of us who are very grammatically sound. Okay, so and then when you write, your writing is just superb. Okay, and I have somebody like that here, Mrs. Rura. Okay, so she will share, some things with us too. Okay, and I think that's why I will send the next question to her. So the next question says, what do we use to paraphrase moving forward? Okay, so I think I want Mrs. Rura to answer this, but I would like her to answer it from our own perspective, okay, and then from our own experience, so that from there, she can share a little bit of tips here and there, and then we can, she can also answer the question directly. Mrs. Rura, please, over to you.
Thank you, Yemi. So for me, yeah, I didn't do more of chat GTB AI tools when I was doing my own MBA. So because I like to write, I like to just, type here, type there. I like to read what I have written, write again, read again, write again, read again till it's perfect. It's perfect to me, and that's it. So I didn't have a lot of issues with all of this AI back and forth with my lecturers. However, I used Grammarly, which is majorly for punctuation, for my tone and engagement. So I like to be very sarcastic when I write. And I figured that almost marked me down in one of my courses. So that was the reason I opted for Grammarly. I mean, Grammarly helped me put a bit of professionalism in my writing. So it wasn't because I wanted Grammarly to rewrite for me. We need to understand that when we ask all of these AI tools to, rewrite for us, obviously they would go online and pick different write-ups that is similar to what we have written, and then bring them back and then write them in a professional manner and then submit it back to us. So that's good as saying you're asking the tools to go online and write for you and then bring the answers to you. So yes, I would suggest that you use just Grammarly, because I feel like Grammarly, tones it down a bit. It's not as AI techy like the other tools that are out there. Grammarly makes it more simple. That's if you're not asking it to rewrite your essay or your assignment for you. However, I think I also advise that instead of using all of these AI generated tools, try read your models. Jot down when you read. I like the old generational way of reading and then submitting my assignment, and that helped me a lot. So read your models. You can do a timetable for yourself or a reading roster for yourself. Dedicate hours per day to read your modules per time. As you read, get a note, jot them down. You find out that when you go back to your jotter and you're reading again, you have ideas on how to respond to your assignments. And before you know it, you're just responding to your assignments as though you are the one that set the assignments in the first place. So yeah, I'll suggest Grammarly and Grammarly alone, nothing else. Thank you, Yemi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I hope it helps. And please, if you've answered your question, kindly notify us in the comment section if the question was well answered, if you understood, if you're satisfied, and then if you need further clarity. And that's why we are here. All right. So we are currently 29 minutes 46 seconds into this session. So we have just less than 30 minutes to go. So that means we have to be faster. So let's try and keep our answers to maybe 1 to 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So the next question is, what is the difference between using Grammarly and Queenboard? Support, can you please answer that, sir?
Okay, I didn't quite use a Qbot, but I think I remember one time that you can use Qbots to do some of the things that Grammarly also does. You can use it to paraphrase. You can use it to also maybe improve your writing. So yourself. For example, if we were writing, I remember when I was writing one of my papers, I always remember that Grammarly will always highlight when I write as well as, or when I put things like in order to. So Grammarly will always highlight that and want to tell me I should replace it with just a simple word, maybe to just, instead of writing in order to, just leave it as to, as well as it may write additionally. So it begins to give you that robotic feel. So goes back to what I said earlier. In using Grammarly, in using Qbots, try as much as possible to make your writing human. So if even though Grammarly highlights certain things for you, or Killboard also does not mean they are grammatically wrong, but they try as much as possible to streamline what you're writing to make it very professional. So when you're writing, my take is try as much as possible to introduce your own feel, your own tone, your own uniqueness to write. Yes, I'll stop here.
All right. Thank you, sir. So the next question is from Brad. He says, as it stands now, what then can we do that even now that paraphrasing tools have been busted, please, what is the way forward? So I'd like to answer this by simply reiterating what I said earlier a few minutes into this session, and which is that you see, just like my co-speakers have said, right? You just have to change your approach, your entire paraphrasing, quote unquote, paraphrasing approach, or what I like to call content processing approach. Okay, that is how you process your assignment content, and that's why I always like to ask people. Okay, there are different ways to write. Okay, when you're writing research works like this, some people do research first, they do hours of research, find lots of journals, and then, put the information together, write, and then, fine tune, refine till they get to the final output, right? With final products. Then some, what they do is that they go to ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, I want to write on SWOT analysis on Dangote. What can you tell me about Dangote? What is SWOT analysis? Okay, so what are the strengths of Dangote? What are the weaknesses of Dangote? And then from there, they will now do further reading and then process it and then write. And then some people just go straight to yeah, write SWOT analysis of Dangote for me, and then copy and paste. And then, so it depends on your content processing, how you process your content, right? But what I generally advise, and that will bring me to answering a particular question that I already saw in the comment section, which is that, you see, please, as much as possible, and this is an advice, okay, avoid Quibots, all right? Yeah, and if you've paid for Quibots already, that's not the end of it. You can definitely use Quibots for other writing works that is not Nexford related, okay? But try to avoid it, because based on what I read about Turnitin, based on my research, I found out that it seems as though one of the things that Turnitin did was that they trained Turnitin new AI plagiarism detection tool with Quillbot and other tools like that. Do you understand? Yeah. So using Quillbot is like you're just playing right into Turnitin. Okay. Now, in paraphrasing, to answer your question, to give you straight answer to your question, what I would say is, if you can, please paraphrase yourself. Okay. And if you cannot, maybe because you're busy, you have work, a whole lot of things are happening around you, and then you want to finish this assignment quickly, you can use AI to paraphrase for you. But whatever you give AI, which is what I've always said, whatever you give AI, let it be that you give AI an original content from you, so that when AI revisits it, and then there's a way you can prompt AI and tell AI, see, this thing I'm giving you, don't touch. All I'm asking you to do is to just refine and do this. Don't go and change my tone. No, like there's a way you can clearly prompt AI not to tamper with what you have written. Just make some little modifications here and there, and then it feeds it back to you. All right. And maybe you have a paragraph that you want to paraphrase. You can tell AI, help me paraphrase this, and then it feeds it back to you. But please, whatever it feeds back to you, re-paraphrase it yourself. And that's the answer. That's the best answer. Okay. I don't know if that satisfies you. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay. But that is what works. Okay. The idea is, whatever it is, let it pass through you. Process it yourself. That's the whole idea of this. Okay. Yeah. All right. But I'll share something else at the end of this session anyway. The other question that we have is okay. So this question, please, Sapo, I think you're an expert with this. Okay, so the question says, what if you appeal and the lecturer refuses to respond until the period elapses? Okay, so I think this question it is like a three, has different angles to it. So please let me explain everything that surrounds this
Okay.
question. Yeah, please. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Can I go ahead?
Please go ahead.
Hello,
Yeah,
Yemi. Okay. All right.
please
All
go
right.
ahead.
All right. So let me respond to this question this way. First thing, what I do, could I actually think I would advise anybody to do at the beginning of the course? I actually learned this from Mr. Christian also. So at the beginning of the course, try as much as possible to get acquainted with the lecturer. Send them a message. Tell them you're looking forward to having a great experience learning in the course. Introduce yourself. Most of the times they will respond to you. So I think it's only Dr. Sims that didn't respond to me, but then again I kept sending him messages. So send the message at the beginning of the course. So that way you've established yourself. Then after every module, once you're graded, try to appreciate them. If there's any comment, just try and say, okay, this comment has been noted, I will apply it forward. So that way you're building a relationship with the lecturer. So if a case like this comes up where you write and he scores you an F, just because that relationship is already there, except maybe the lecturer is just being difficult, you can write them and say, please, I did everything I was supposed to do, but I don't know what happened. So can I actually have another try at this? So most times they will want to reply you. Most times they will want to reply. That's the truth. In my own case, what I did was I submitted 3 courses. I know for Dr. Sims, I submitted 2 assignments, and Dr. Sims graded me 80/80 in those 2. So I sent him a message, and he responded and said he won't be able to agree to my appeal, that I should just take it as lessons learned and apply it forward. He refused. So what I did was I took that in my stride and I kept sending him messages after every module. My next module, he graded 95. In a way, also, this is also psychological. He may also want to compensate for it, knowing that you've actually established some kind of relationship with him. So my next module after that was 100, and long story short, I ended the course with an A. So what I would say is try as much as possible to always establish a relationship at the beginning. Try and get used to them. Send them message, appreciate them. So to actually avoid cases like this. But if the lecturer refuses, what I would do is, in my case, take it, then apply it forward. For every assignment I will submit, I will send a message and say, I've submitted this assignment. I've applied what you said in your last comment. I've applied it in this work, and I look forward to a better grade. So that way, the lecturer, they are humans. That's the truth. So when the lecturer refuses, it's not the end of the world. What you just need to do is just to apply it forward. But then again, if you have the opportunity to actually establish a relationship at the beginning of the course, it will go a long way to be able to actually help them, help you to also speak in this kind of situation now, speak to their emotions, speak to their conscience, and they most likely, yes, out. Hello, Yemi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I thought it was my network, but I think it's your network. Yeah, I don't even know which network is causing the lag,
Okay.
but I
So,
am
but
here.
okay, but did you hear me at all? Was I really clear enough? I was speaking to myself.
No, you were clear. There
Okay.
were, I think, one or two skips here and there, but it was still clear
Okay.
as a whole.
So, I can repeat what I said earlier, but just because of time, maybe if she's not
Just
clear,
the
maybe she
last
can come
one
back and let
sentence
us
or
know. Yeah.
something. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay. Could you please repeat the last two sentences you You said.
Okay, so I said try as much as possible to establish a relationship at
Oh
the
my
beginning of the
God.
course. That way, you'll be able to appeal to their emotion, appeal to their conscience. Once you apply for an appeal, so actually for a resubmission, they most likely they may want to grant that. But in case they don't grant you a resubmission, just take it in your stride. Apply whatever it is they said in their comments, apply it forward. And for every submission, try as much as possible to send them a message once you've submitted, letting them know that you've done everything that is expected of you as per the last comment. You've applied it in your new submission. Then also, once you're graded, also try and appreciate them. So that way you'll be able to establish that connection and try as much as possible also to also ask for clarity in case you're not clear about the question. Most times they'll respond to you. So before you approach an assignment, if you're not clear, as opposed to assuming, you can write them and hope for them to actually expect them to actually reply. And once they reply, you can apply that. But then again, try as much as possible, establish a relationship at the beginning of the course, send them a message, try and get acquainted. Then if they don't agree for you to resubmit, apply their comment forward and also send them a message. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Sir Paul. All right, I hope that answers your question. All right, yeah. So this other question here says, oh, okay. That's the same question we are trying to answer. Okay, but oh, all right. I intend to add one or two things to what Pope mentioned, which is that um, oftentimes when you, not even oftentimes, all the time, when you submitted, okay, you submitted before the deadline, you have submitted. All right. So regardless of what happens if you have to appeal, the submission, you've already, you scaled through the submission deadline. Do you understand? So don't worry about, oh, deadline. You have submitted already. Okay. So according to, as far as the algorithm is concerned, you have submitted. So far you submitted before the deadline. Do you understand? So and what you just need to do is to focus on your appeal process. Okay. So don't worry about maybe the period has elapsed or something. Do you understand? But definitely, when you appeal, and this is one of the things I intend to spotlight on, which is the tone of your message. And Pope already said this. Okay, is how you talk, how you construct your mail. There are ways you can talk. You can send an email. You can construct email to somebody, and then the person will even want to help you. The person will not be angry at you, or the person will not feel, who is this student that is just disturbing me? Do you understand? Yeah. So please let's pay attention to that too. All right. Yeah. Um. Okay. So Mr. Kenneth, you've been answered already. So yeah, thank you so much for answering that question. Um, okay. Please, how do I appeal? You sent an email to the lecturer through your Nexford Canvas inbox. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there's this other question here. I'm looking for the question. I can't find it again. Okay. Sorry, lots of comments. Okay, so this okay, so I've found one. It says there are so many helpful articles online without a named author. If you use materials from such sites, how do you reference them in such a way that they appear credible? Mrs. Pura, have you ever experienced something like this? How do you navigate it? Could you please share with us in 1 to 2 minutes,
So,
please?
I think I would say you should avoid using articles like this. Avoid using articles because I feel like if you get articles online without a name, auto, date, here, I mean, it's not authentic. Just avoid using them. Except otherwise, maybe because it happened. I think it happened to me in one of my courses. I had finished my assignment and I was trying to do my citation, and Yemi would always say, when you are not comfortable with your submission, do not submit. At the end of it, if you're not comfortable with what you have written, don't submit. Go back and read again and check again. So I just decided to use Grammarly to check my Turnitin, and I saw 28%. I remember I think I called Kristen, I called Jamie, I was like, hey, in Yoruba, I was like, Egbamio. I wrote it myself and I'm seeing scores, like I got it online and they were both laughing. So, to avoid all of these things, you might think because it is online, it has no name, it has no hotel, it will not be picked. As far as it is online, it's going to be picked. So just avoid them. Whatever you cannot cite, whatever you cannot, don't go near it. If you're not doing it yourself, because I mean, if you're doing it yourself, if you're writing it yourself, creating it yourself, lecturers might eventually mark you down. And then you can go back and say, it is what I wrote myself. I want to fight for my score, for my grade. I want to, yes, I know what I submitted. But you're getting a source online and then you cannot back it up. And then eventually you're shooting yourself in the foot, one way or another. So just avoid it. Avoid getting sources online that you cannot, you cannot cite. Avoid them. That's my take on that. And also, please, a quick, I really want to add to what Yemia and Popat said about our communication with our lecturers. I know most of us feel because, there are lecturers, they owe us our grades, our fees, pay their fees, blah, blah, blah. That's enough. I mean, we need to understand that these lecturers attend to thousands of students. That's why we complain most times that they regurgitate comments. They paste the comments for you, for your colleague, for XYZ, for 10,000 students, the same comments here and there. It can be too much for them. So when we want to, communicate with them, we should learn to be very polite and respectful. It's not just a professional email. It's called email. So we should learn to keep it very clear and specific. Do not write epistles. Just hit the nail on the head. Tell them what you want. But before you do that, try to massage their ego a bit. Be very polite and respectful and show that you are willing to take their advice even before they give you a response. Just, and then, of course, when you send a message and you do not get a feedback in time, what stops you from doing a follow-up message? Keep sending a follow-up email until you get a feedback. And if you do not get a feedback, then move on. Thank you. Yemi,
I
I'm
hope this is
done.
well. Are you still there?
I'm
Oh,
here.
okay. Okay. Thank you very
Did you
much for
hear me
that.
at all? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we heard you just when you were about to be done. That was when it went off. Yeah, but we heard you clearly. Okay, so thank you very much for that. And to add to this, some of these lecturers, just like she has mentioned, are managing multiple courses, multiple cohorts per time. So please, I beg you, all right? Let's not forget. Let's take note of that tip on communication, proper communication to them. All right. So this question, there's a resource archive on the tutorial group. It answers this question by Mr. John Joseph. Okay. Yeah. So please kindly check it. So it's either you go to Google Scholar or you go to JS Store or you even use Nexford Library. The issue with Nexford Library is it is technical to navigate, but it is loaded. I don't know, maybe one of these days I will try and do a tutorial on how to use the Nexford Library, but it is loaded, okay? Yeah, it is loaded, all right. The next question here says, what's the best way to approach an assignment from information gathering to submission? Everything will be the same, all right? All the tips will be shared. Please just put them together. Whatever works for you, but whatever you do, ensure it goes through you, okay? There's no one size fits all answer to this, okay? Do what works for you, all right? Yeah, but whatever works for you, ensure that it is you uphold academic integrity and honesty. Okay, I noticed that adding more references to your work increases your similarity score. Yes, but oftentimes lecturers don't check the score that are informed by the references aspects, or section of it. So it's not something to worry about. But when I was doing my own program, there was something I did. I started reducing my references. So before, when we started, you remember Dr. D, we were bombarding Dr. D with 20 references, 25 references, 30 references, citation back to back. We cited everything, cited every sentence because Dr. D was like, you have to cite scholarly, And then I noticed that my tonality score was high because of that. So I reduced my reference. So I made it a rule, a personal rule. You do not have to follow my rule, but that was a personal rule I eventually used. I limited my references to 5 to 10 throughout my entire program. 5 to 10. The only time it is over 10 is when I'm doing PowerPoint. Maybe final, I have to combine references from Maestro 1 and Maestro 2. But usually between 5 to 10. All right. So, and it helps. Okay. So we have just 9 minutes to go. So this is what we're going to do. Okay. Because I want Sapo and Mrs. Rura to give us final or closing tips. Do you understand? Yeah, there are things that they can still share with us. So I want to give them 3 minutes each to give us closing tips. So the remaining questions, I will answer them on the tutorial group. Okay, if you're not on the tutorial group, I will drop the tutorial group in the comment link. So please join there. So I will answer the remaining questions there. Either Sapo or Mrs. Rura will also answer it there. Okay, you know, the ones they would like to answer. All right, but I want them to give us 3 minutes each for closing tips. Okay, just to share more tips with us. Thank you very much. All right, so Sapo, over to you first.
Okay, thank you very much, Yemi. Okay, let me start off with Mr. Roberts, Edim Roberts. My tip will just touch on what he asked. How do you go about information gathering? So for every module, so I'm just going to give you what I did during my time. Try as much as possible to read the introduction, understand the introduction. Then once you're done reading the introduction, then go the assignments. Read the assignments, read the rubric. So that way, information will start coming to you. So you start having an idea as to what is expected of you. Then you can now jump into the module and start reading. So as you're reading, that's how the brain works. You already have that first feel of the assignment. You've actually had that. You also have the first feel of what is expected of you. That's from the introduction. So you begin to marry all of these things together. So ideas will start coming up in your head. So that will also inform your research. You will now know what you're looking out for in doing your research. So now, make sure your assignment has elements of your research, carries the original work you've done in your research. That's what I always advise. Don't just copy the assignment and paste on ChatGPT and expect it to generate text for you. You can use ChatGPT for idea, but make sure the text itself is written by you. Just like I said earlier, they will grade you low for AI generated text and not AI generated idea. So once you understand the idea, you can write it in your own words, back it up with your research so that you'll be able to get your citation and your references. Also, in your research, don't just paraphrase what you've researched on. Make sure you also analyze it, critique it. There's also a place for you to critique it. Just because it has been written and somebody has done the research on it does not make it final. There could be loopholes, so you can also spotlight those loopholes. That's where you critique it, add your own perspective. It's an MBA, don't forget that. It's an MBA. It's not multiple choice general question. You can also come up with novel ideas by doing your MBA. So you can also look at those research and also spotlight what is wrong and improve on it. So that should inform your work. Don't be too scared to want to put in your own ideas for the lecturers to look at it. That's why we've been doing this program, and the lecturers have seen so many papers, and yet they will still grade you based on what you've written, because they are looking at perspective, they're looking at what you've written, as opposed to whether your answer is right or wrong, except maybe you're doing accounting. Try as much as possible to write in your own words. I've said that before. Use AI tools to generate ideas, but make sure it is written down in your own words. AI is supposed to assist you, to complement what you've done, and not to replace your actual human intellect or your writing efforts. Thank you very much, Yemi. I'll stop.
All right. Thank you, Sapo. Thank you very much. Mrs. Rura, please, 3 minutes, please. 3 minutes.
Thank you, Yemi. So I think I'll start off with I saw a question just now that said asking if those that are on fast track, how do you go about it? Coincidentally, I think myself, Yemi, and Victor did fast track too. It can be consuming, time consuming, strength consuming. Just name it. If you're not careful, you're going to collapse. If you're not careful, in fact, let me just say, you're going to die. Because, and I would like to also reiterate that NXU created this community for us. I'm sure they've seen all of this ahead. They know that you are not supposed to do the MBA alone. Do not act like Superman. The community is there to help you. Even if you are not, going to be communicating so much on it, learn to open those chats up once in a while, read through it, digest what you have read, and try to put them into practice when you read your models. Ask questions. Don't walk this journey alone. Talk to people, mix, network through that community. Don't read your modules alone, do your assignments alone. Nobody is an island. Don't try to be Superman or Voltron or whatever name we can call it. Ask questions, talk to people, talk to your lecturers, talk to your colleagues, alumni, talk to them. The ones that are still, in the process, talk to them, speak to them, can even speak to your colleagues in the office. Ask for ideas. Don't try to do all of these things alone. It can be overwhelming. I did my MBA in 6 months, and even though I had friends that we know were always talking and rubbing minds together, I eventually collapsed. It's not funny. This journey can't be funny for anybody, whether you are doing for 12 months or you are doing for 6 months. However, we are all being driven for different things. Drives us. Some of us got on this journey through scholarship. Some of us got on this journey because we want, career advancement, and we all have different reasons. But let the dollar you're paying, let that dollar drive you. Let that dollar drive you to make, good and positive, decisions for yourself, and then for your grade, at the end of all the sleepless night and what have you. Just try to, create time for your studies. Again, not because you are doing an MBA, because we have AI tools here and there. Try and allow NSU pass through you. Read your modules. Don't go through the course through AI alone. Try to read this. When you are done, we are asking you, what did you do in BUS 116? You are able to say, this is what I read, this is what I was told, this is what the module says. And I mean, when you are done with NSU, your canvas is gone. You can't access all your course modules again. So please, let's endeavor to pay attention to our courses, our modules, and like I said earlier, pay attention to the communities, different communities that you identify with. They would help you a lot. Don't be an island. Nobody's an island. Thank you.
Amazing. Just less than, wow, we have just 40 seconds to go. So thank you, everyone. Please, other questions that we're here to attend to, drop them in the tutorial group. I promise to drop the tutorial group link. I've forgotten, but thank you so much. And yeah, see you next month. We have another tutorial next month, first Saturday in September. Yeah, hopefully we will need it. Maybe we will not need it, but then we hope that we will need it and then we have it. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much and success. Please ask your questions on the group. If you need help, if you need guidance, just ask on the group. People will respond to you, and have a blessed night's rest. And for those in the midnight, people in Philippines, thank you very much. Have a wonderful morning. Bye. Thank you. See you guys. Thank you to our speakers too.